You ever heard of that prominent quote? 80% of people don't care about your problems and 20% are glad that you have those problems. That is the point of this video. You have a finite amount of time. Gentlemen, your life is too precious. Your life is too precious to be caring about what other people think. And trust me, I've been there. As a young guy, many years ago, roaming through the streets, operating life, very self-conscious. Is that person looking at me, scared to scratch my nose unless someone might get the wrong idea. You get on public transport, you refuse to eat food because what if, people start looking at you, you're intimidated and fearful to make the wrong move in the public eye because someone might look at you and start laughing and they might judge you in a certain way. You let these thoughts and feelings paralyze you. But what you don't understand is you're not going to be here for a very long time. These fears that you have, they're not rational at all. They're not rational and they're not logical. There is no logical reason for you to hold these thoughts. A lot of my family members, they believe in what we call the evil eye. I come from a Turkish background, it's quite prominent there as well. It's basically where you might achieve success, but you keep it low key. You don't go around and blasting your accolades and achievements and telling the entire village and telling the whole world of what you've accomplished. You keep it to yourself low key. Why? Because a contingent of people, they have envy, they have jealousy of what you've achieved. And you are essentially a facilitator. You're basically a mirror. You're a constant reminder to them of what they have failed, of what they have not achieved. And that builds up resentment. That enables them to build up envy and jealousy. And they reflect that back towards you. And at times they may become quite nefarious and sinister. Some of them, maybe not, but some of them, they can't help it. They get jealous quite quickly. That's why they believe in things like the evil eye. Don't go around blasting and telling the whole world of what you've accomplished. Be very mindful of that. And I don't believe it in total. It's, I did grow up in the UK, so it's not very prevalent here in the UK. However, to me, there is some logic, there is some truth behind that. I personally, from my experience and how I operate, I'm quite low key. I don't tell everyone what I do all the time. Look, I'm not a liar. If you ask me about details, I will provide you an answer, but I don't go around purposely sharing exactly what I do. I'm very mindful of what I do, and personally, I'd recommend that, guys, for you as well. But I digress. Going back to the main point, your life is too precious. Your life is simply too precious for you to be caring about what other people think. For me, out of every single hurdle and the vast majority of videos that I've produced in terms of why you haven't accomplished your goals and why you're not achieving your goals, and this is up there with the reason why video, the reason why in terms of being specific with your goal and the path that you're on, this is up there in my personal opinion. And it's caring what other people think, because the reason why you haven't started that YouTube channel, the reason why you haven't started that business, the reason why you haven't invested thousands of dollars or pounds or euros or yens into that specific niche and market, and the reason why you haven't set out on that career path, and the reason why you're going to uni is because you're fearful of what other people may think of you. You're fearful of what society will think of you. You're fearful of consequences that are not rational at all. You've made it up in your head. You're only doing things because, the average person does it. And I'm only going to uni because even though I don't know what I want to do, I'm going there because my friends are going. Even though I don't know what my career path is going to look like, I'm happily content with going into tens of thousands of pounds or dollars in debt because society tells me to, my parents tell me to, even though I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, come on, how is that logical? How is that rational? But you choose to do it anyway because you're so fearful of what other people are going to think. You refuse to start a YouTube channel because what if your friends find out and they might judge you for it, or some of them might laugh at you, they might ridicule you. Imagine you could be the next big thing. Imagine how successful you could become. You might amass an audience that absolutely adore you, that might take your advice on or take on board what you're saying, or you might start an entertainment YouTube channel, or you might produce content in different areas, and you genuinely might have a skill or talent, but you refuse to start because you're scared of what other people think about you. As I alluded to before, most people genuinely couldn't care less about what you do. You're not James Bond. You are taxi driver number 29. I don't mean to say that I don't mean to say that in a derogatory manner or to genuinely put you down, but someone famously said that to me because I used to be like this as well. I used to think that The limelight was on me. The spotlight was on me. And every time I stepped outside the house, everyone was staring at me and analysing my next move. It's in your head. I promise you it's in your head. Most people couldn't care less. And some people are glad that you have the problems that you have. So bearing that in mind, why do you still care? These people don't pay your bills. These people, if you drop dead from a heart attack right this second, as you watch this video on your iPhone or Android, let's not discriminate Android users here either. Let's say you drop dead from a heart attack. These people, a certain percentage of people will say, oh my God, he's passed away, how sad. Some people might mourn over your death and your parents will obviously be tearful. Within a week, 99% of people would have forgotten about your existence and they would have moved on with their lives. Imagine I'm on a sales call, right? I used to work in sales. Imagine I'm on a sales call and I'm on the phone to a prospect or a client. And mid-conversation, I faint and I pass out and I have a stroke. I just die. That prospect will be a bit baffled initially because the line cuts. But by the next day, he's on the phone to my competitor. Within the next day, he's on the phone to another consultant of my competitor, of another company, and he's buying their product. He doesn't care about you, and that's just like the vast majority of people. You are taxi driver number 29. I don't mean to say that to ridicule you, but the idea, the notion, is it's supposed to be a liberating feeling. You're supposed to be happy about that. When I say that to you, you shouldn't sit there and get angry. Your ego shouldn't be hurt there. Instead, the reaction that you should have from that is sigh of relief. Almost a burden lifted off your shoulders. Because now it gives you the onus, the license to do whatever you wanted to do. Whatever career path, whatever thing you wanted to study, the thing that you wanted to start, the thing you wanted to invest in. Go and do it, man. Who cares? Really, I don't care. No one cares. I don't mean that in a bad way. You do you. It's your prerogative. It's your life. Do what makes you happy. Do what brings you fulfillment. This is how you ascertain and identify your purpose. This is the only solution. But by sitting there and caring what other people think and what if he thinks this and she thinks that, that's why you haven't ascertained your purpose. It's why you don't know what your calling is. Because you're not trying new things. You're not trying new things because you're scared of what other people might think about you. Come on, man. Really? There's no rationale behind that. What's the worst case scenario? He laughed at me. I mean, and? Oh, wow, he laughed at me. Well done. At least I tried something. At least I attempted something while you sat there on your arse and did nothing. Who cares if they laugh? I approached this girl and she rejected me and all her friends started laughing. So, are you ever going to see this girl again? Probably not. And even if you do, who cares? You shot your shot. That's better than having regret, leaving the pub or the restaurant and then reminiscing over it all evening and thinking, man, if only I approached her, and that guilt is going to eat inside of you and that regret is going to end up killing you. Come on, you're here for a finite amount of time. You shouldn't be caring what other people think about you. You really shouldn't. What matters is your own personal opinion of yourself. That's the only thing that should matter. That's the only thing that should matter. I'm not saying disregard opinions. Your parents may have an input. Your friends may have an input. Absolutely, that's fine. They're entitled to that. And you can take that on board and consider what they're saying. Doesn't mean you have to fully abide by that and then go full steam ahead of their opinion. Because ultimately the decision comes down with you. It's your life. It's your life. They can't do it for you. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to the rescue. When shit hits the fan and things are not looking good, you're going to be the one to pick it up and deal with it. That's the reality. I wish I knew this when I was younger. I really did. I wish there was someone here recording this video and telling me this exact message when I was 18, when I was 21. Because that would have saved me enormous amounts of time. I could be further along than I am today. So hopefully you're watching this and it wakes you up a little bit. It ignites a fire within you because that's the purpose of this. So hopefully you've gained value from that. Consider subscribing, smash the bell notification, follow me on Instagram, leave me your thoughts and opinions in a comment section below, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.